We are good.
Hi everyone, my name is Christine and I'm a senior keeper here at Birds World. And today's ZooToYou is brought to you by the U.Fund College Investing Plan and MEFA. And today we are here in the Birds World exhibit building and we are going to introduce you to Eve, our turtle. Eve is a Florida river turtle. As many of you might have seen her in the butterfly exhibit in the summers and in this exhibit in the winter. I'm going to give Eve a treat. She's got to get herself. She'll usually take a breath and then dive. She'll blow out some bubbles. I think she sees the other piece first. But Eve is 48 years old. And as you can see, she kind of bites things and then uses her front hands to kind of rip pieces off.
So what is it that she's eating today?
She is eating a fish called a capelin. And she loves capelin. The bigger the fish, the better for her.
And is that what she always eats, or are there other foods in her diet?
She will eat capelin, silver sides, which are like a smaller type of fish. She will eat different kinds of greens like kale, and she eats these little floating turtle pellets.
So we have a question of what kind of turtle is she? I know you mentioned it at the beginning, but do you want to just say it again for those just joining us?
Yeah, she is a Florida river turtle, and they're native to Florida and also a little bit southern Georgia.
Awesome. And we have a question, are these turtles endangered? And are there any types of turtles that are endangered?
There are lots of types of turtles that are endangered, unfortunately. Eve is not endangered. However, a lot of Florida river turtles in the wild are taken illegally as pets, which is not good. You never want to take a wild animal from the wild. We have another turtle in the Birds World building in the swamp exhibit, the Blandings turtle, which is also threatened.
So we got a question from Kayla who wants to know, does this turtle recognize you?
I think she recognizes our uniform colors, because she definitely acts different when she sees someone in a zoo uniform. Whether she recognizes her keepers individually, I don't know.
And Barbara wants to know what Eve's average lifespan is.
So her average lifespan is anywhere from 50 to 60 years, both in captivity and in the wild. So she's still got a lot of time left.
And do you do any training with Eve? It seems like she might be kind of food motivated.
She is. We don't have an official training program for her, but we do feed her in the same way every time that she eats. So she is, in a way, trained to kind of recognize her food bucket, recognize us. She'll come swimming right over when she knows it's time to eat.
So what are some adaptations that Eve has that might help her live for such a long time?
That is a good question. Well, you can see her size, she's quite large. That makes it really hard for predators to eat her. When they lay eggs, they lay a lot of eggs at one time, which helps, their numbers increase in the wild. She is an omnivore, so she will basically eat anything that she can get her hands on.
And obviously she can spend quite a bit of time under the water here.
Yes.
So how long can she hold her breath for?
That's a good question. I actually don't know. She'll dive, like she'll take a breath and blow out bubbles and then kind of sink to the bottom like she is right now. But I don't know the actual length of time that she can hold her breath.
That's a great question. So we have some other questions about the other animals that Eve shares an exhibit with, and some of the birds that we're hearing in the background. So what other creatures are around us today?
You are hearing a black crake. You are hearing some of our parrots that are upstairs. You are hearing a starling, a golden-breasted starling. And of course it goes quiet. There's the crate. I want to get him right there. He's pretty vocal.
So we also had a question about whether she lays eggs or not.
She does. She will lay eggs regardless, like they're not fertile because we don't have another male turtle, but she will lay them. She usually lays anywhere from like 7 to 9 over a period of time.
And does she get any kind of enrichment? And for those who may not know what it is, can you just tell us a little bit about what enrichment means?
So enrichment is anything that we give our animals for mental stimulation, physical stimulation. It helps us keep their minds active, help us keep their bodies active. Eve, we will give her different kinds of novel foods, and she'll have to swim around and eat them. She really likes superworms. When she is outside for the summer in our butterfly pond, she gets a lot of enrichment just by being out in a different exhibit.
And we also got a question from Meredith, who has some eagle eyes. She wanted to know, did she see a worm in here?
She does. We tried giving Eve a worm, which she has eaten in the past, but today she is not in the mood for worms.
So we have some questions about what exactly is the butterfly pond. Can you tell us a little bit about our Butterfly Hollow exhibit?
Yeah, so the Butterfly Hollow exhibit is in between the, I'm trying to think of a reference point to tell people now.
Kind of in between Giddy Up Grill
Giddy Up.
and the tropical forest.
Yeah.
Across from the giraffes.
It is our seasonal exhibit in the summertime. There will be a big tent up, and we will have butterflies inside of it. And she lives in the pond that is in that exhibit in the summer.
So will she continue to get bigger, or is she full grown?
She's basically done growing. She is about 9 pounds, and she's pretty a pretty big girl for a turtle. Her species can get pretty large, so she's pretty much done growing at 48.
So you were telling me earlier that she just recently went through a shed.
Yes.
So can you talk a little bit about what animals shed their skin and why?
So turtles will shed the kind of outer layer on their scutes. I'm trying to think of a better way to explain it that way because I can't point to it. They shed them for various reasons. Maybe there's damage, maybe like younger turtles will shed them as they grow. And it helps them have a better surface to absorb sunlight. So turtles will do it. Tortoises, I honestly don't know if they shed them or not. I think they must, but it might be in a different way than an aquatic turtle.
So what is the difference between a turtle and a tortoise?
Tortoises are turtles, but turtles are not tortoises. So kind of a blanket statement is that turtles mostly are aquatic, or they are both aquatic and terrestrial. Tortoises, for the most part, are terrestrial, which means they only live on land, but they also will go into shallow bodies of water. That's just kind of a blanket statement.
Awesome. And we got a question from Abby who wants to know, does she hibernate or change her eating habits in the winter?
She does slow down a little bit. She does not hibernate, but she does tend to eat a slight bit less in the colder months.
Very cool. And speaking of temperature, Alexandra wants to know if you have to keep the water at a certain temperature for her.
The water, our inside water is heated because she is a Florida turtle. Oh, she's taken off. She might need a breath and then go back down.
So who do we hear chatting away in the background right now?
That is one of our cockatoos in another part of the Birds World building. But in short, yes, the water is heated for her. You can see she does a really good job with those back feet, keeping herself afloat. She's just taking some breaths. She's eaten a lot. You can see she has really short front legs, but very long claws, and those long claws help her rip different food items apart.
All right, well, we'll do one more call for any last questions while we see what Eve will do next.
Probably get a pretty good view of her. Oh, there she goes. And she has a very small tail for such a large turtle.
All right, well, we will say goodbye to Eve, but thank you everyone for tuning in today.
Yeah.